chug some beers and make some bad gambling picks. Welcome to ChuggieBets.
Who is more handsome? Is it Sam Hartman or Marcus Freeman? Because they're at the same school now. We've got a coach, quarterback, handsome off. What do you think? Really,
Marcus
I want
Freeman.
to hear from everybody, but Danny's kind of the expert here. Really?
It's Marcus Freeman. It's not even close.
Really?
Yes.
I don't know.
I want to say Sam Hartman, but it feels like I'm being racist. You know?
Why?
I don't know, because you're picking the bearded white guy over like the very handsome and like chiseled black man. I don't know. It just feels wrong.
Is it possible that Sam Hartman looks older, handsome than Marcus Freeman, even though he's much younger?
No, that's
Right?
what I was getting at. The reason it's so clearly Marcus Freeman is because Sam Hartman is younger, but he looks like he's more past his prime than Marcus Freeman.
Sam Hartman looks like he has like a bunch of money in an account that he's like made up. Like he looks like he's 45. Marcus Freeman just looks good, right? Like there's different levels of handsome to this. I don't think. I would say Marcus Freeman though. I mean, if I had to fuck one of them, it'd probably be Marcus.
Which
Freeman.
one looks like they could play in the NFL?
Oh wow!
Oh, sorry.
Marcus Freeman.
Yes, Marcus Freeman looks like he should be playing in the NFL right now.
So that's a particularly good picture of Sam Hartman, I think. But and so I think I'm right. I think it's Sam Hartman. But I will say there are other images that make him look like the irresponsible little brother of Jack from Lost. That like
so Sam Hartman cut, huh? He trimmed it up.
Yeah, he's looking good.
Yeah,
he's there to impress.
Yeah.
He
he
was a little scruffy when he first got there when camp started. He was he had it kind of long and he had the beard a little unkempt.
Do you miss that? Do you think he'd be better? I feel like at Notre Dame you got to look a little more clean cut.
No, I think he looks better. I think he looks better clean cut. That's why I was saying he looked a little. He was getting a little like Charlie Whitehurst with Jewel look going to him. If you know where I'm going there.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I like that.
Not to like go with my handsome quarterback repertoire here, but
it's good. That's a deep cut.
Where does Marcus Freeman rank in handsome coaches in college football history? Right, everyone goes Kingsbury. I think Freeman's more handsome than Kingsbury
for sure. Not even.
Yeah, well, I do agree that I don't think Cliff Kingsbury is that handsome.
He was when he was younger.
He was.
Yeah,
before
Marcus Freeman is very handsome. The image that Andy pulled up.
Yeah, it wasn't a great picture. It was the first one that came up on Bing.
Yeah, on Bing.
That's what you get for using Bing. Bad.
I don't know. I can't think of handsome college football coaches.
It's
Mark
true.
Richt?
Mark Richt was handsome. He wasn't bad looking at all. Oh man, I saw Mark Richt on the ACC. They're doing the ACC Road Series. He looks bad. My dude's lost it. He's lost a step. I know he's going through his own health problems, but it made me sad. It made me sad to see the wheels fall off a little bit.
Yeah, I got to tell you, just Googling handsome college football coaches does not give you like a lot to work with here. Like,
it's a tough job. It's like being the president. Like 4 years of it ages you like 12 years.
Barry Switzer? Lou Holtz.
There's just not a.
Tell me you don't get turned on by how good a BJ Lou Holtz could give you?
I mean, young Urban Meyer was like not
very sloppy. Very sloppy.
Younger Al Golden was not like. This is not a lot to work with, man.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm pretty confident in saying Marcus Freeman number one with a bullet.
Number one of all time. Yeah, this is like.
All right, so I'm gonna.
Oh, sorry. Different type of handsome. Can you say Pete Carroll? Pete Carroll looks like old money handsome.
Yeah.
But like USC days, I think he.
Oh, we also got to think about Dion being in there now.
Dion is good. Dion's pretty good.
He's too old.
I agree. I think he hasn't aged particularly well.
He's
much better good for Lovie Smith.
With the beard.
Lovey's
with
good
the beard.
looking.
Yeah,
He's
I like
looking.
Lovey with the beard was a good look. All right, everyone, welcome to week 0 of ChuggieBets. We've been waiting months for this. So excited. I'm Andy. That's Matt. That's Danny. That's Al. Sunshine fell asleep. Before we get to our picks for week 0, let's chug a beer.
Let's go.
Cheers.
What about Charlie Weiss?
Charlie, what? I thought I misheard.
All right, so there are 7 actual real football games happening this week on Saturday, August 26th, starting at 2:30 p.m. in Ireland, where Navy is traveling to take on Notre Dame. Anybody have thoughts on this? I actually think we all have a pick. So
I have
Matt,
a thought on this. Do you think the Irish people like when Notre Dame comes into town? I feel like it's a bad look when the Fighting Irish come into town to show like we're appropriating their Irishness. Like, I think it's very odd. I don't like that much.
I've wondered that a couple of times with all the like canceling Native American mascots. Like the fact that fighting is in there. If it's just the Irish, it'd be different. But
Sure.
fighting Irish, yeah, agreed. It's pretty stereotypical.
And then you got little like McGonaghy standing like this, like very awkward.
I think they really leaned into like the Notre Dame part and not the Fighting Irish part, and then also like on being Catholics. And so it's like, oh, you're persecuting Catholics by saying they should change their mascot. And you're like, yeah, I guess I am. If that's what you consider it.
You can't
Also,
Catholics of all people.
I never thought about this before, but Notre Dame's in France. How
Yeah.
did they get Notre Dame and Irish? How did that even happen?
I don't
Catholic, Irish Catholic, bud. There's a lot of Irish Catholics in the U.S.
Right, but why Notre Dame? Why pick a French cathedral?
I think there's.
You don't have an answer.
What? Come on now. Oh, I think
Is there more than one Notre Dame?
Maybe.
Yeah,
There
the one
there might be.
in Indiana and the one in France.
Maybe there's actually a Notre Dame Ireland. Andy,
Maybe.
educate yourself or read a book.
I'm sorry.
So I'll lead us off here because I know you guys have contrary opinions. I do not have a play in here. My lean would be to take Notre Dame, lay the points with Notre Dame. I know it's a lot of points. The reason being is this: Notre Dame hadn't had a good quarterback for the past couple of years. They got Sam Hartman, King Handsome, from Wake Forest in his 6th year, a 6th-year transfer. Those COVID years really let you rack up some years. So I do think the offense will be improved. They had a good running game last year. They couldn't pass the ball for shit. Tyler Buckner is now at Alabama, which I don't even know how that works. And I forgot where Pine went, the other kid, Drew Pine. But he's elsewhere. So they went to Sam Hartman. Everyone transferred. I do believe the offense will be better. And do they have the wideouts to play? I have no idea in the long term. But their defense is also really good too. Like I don't think there'll be a slack on the defensive side. Navy fired. I'm not going to even say his last name. Ken, 16-syllable Hawaiian last name, this year, who had been leading the offense in that option offense forever. They took their defensive coordinator and made him the head coach. Now, I don't know if it takes a ton to replace an option-heavy coach, but I do feel like there's going to be some growing pains moving to a new coaching strategy with such a specialized offense. I just see Notre Dame kind of rolling this game. That would be my thoughts. I'm not going to play it, but I would lean laying the 20.5.
I'm probably going to take. It's 21 now, and I'm probably going to take the full 3 touchdowns. It's juice, but it was on Bovado was 21 minus 115 before we started here. It was close last year. I know that Notre Dame got the new quarterback, but like it takes sometimes a game to get everything running. Like you said, Notre Dame doesn't really have all the receivers. Whether you're optioning it or not, Notre Dame does bring back the fullback that gashed them last year, Fofana or whatever was his name. Fofana. I had it in the notes here. But yeah. So he's back, and like I mean, what you don't really need a tailback and a quarterback, running the other way for that guy. I mean, you just have to block it and have him run through the middle, So
it is Fofana, by the way. You know
Hey,
the
I knew it was one of Chelsea's hurt players' last names.
But there's a lot of those, so I don't blame you for not being
Pick a
sure.
random last name and it's
John Lukaku is going to be really good.
It could have been James,
safety.
Chuck Mumenka. Could have been anything.
Oh.
Nkunu. Yeah, so I'm probably going to take it just because Notre Dame struggled with them so much last year, and I think their defense is a little bit soft. So I think maybe Navy will make something happen.
I'm with you.
And
on
they'll
this
hold
one,
the ball.
Danny.
And they'll hold the ball.
Will
Yes.
they? Will they
Yeah.
hold the ball now?
I think they will.
Are we sure the offense is going to look the same?
I mean, they might try some other things, but like I said, they still have a really big, strong fullback that can really dominate a game. So
Sure.
Yeah, and when Navy slows down the game, and you're right, Matt, it might not look exactly the same, but it's still going to have a ton of triple option. And they're going to slow down the game. It's hard to blow somebody out in a slowed down game. And this is a Danny theory from last year, but most teams don't want to blow out a service academy, right? Like, it's not the best look to be like, these are the men and women serving our country. Let's beat them by 90. So you put all those things together. Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
look, 90 is disrespectful.
many
21 is perfectly reasonable, and that's where the line is at. So I don't fully buy that, but I think there's it's good logic at least.
Notre Dame's been a slow starting team the last couple of years, though.
For me, so I'm inclined to side with Matt here, and I would if I were to pick a side, I'd rather lay the points than take them. That said, it's never feels like a smart idea to lay 21 points. Did you know that Navy and Notre Dame have faced each other 95 times,
Wow.
and Navy has won 13 of those? So the average score has been 12.6 for Navy to 28.8 for Notre Dame. So I was doing a little digging into the lines here, and I think I found a couple bets that are worth placing. That being the Navy team total under 14.5, and the Navy team total first half under 6.5, which you can actually get at plus money still. So I really like that.
I don't really love either of those.
Under 14.5. I think
that's for the whole game, though. I don't really like that. They scored 32 points last year.
Okay.
Yeah, Al, I think some of those numbers you just quoted are driven down by the fact that they've been playing for 100 years, and some of those games were played before offense was a thing and before the forward pass was a thing. There's probably some 3 to 6 games in there that are dragging your scores down a little bit.
Also, that was back when Notre Dame was like the best team in the world.
So was Navy.
Notre Dame has like 30 national championships because they won all the national championships when everybody else was fighting wars.
I'm gonna have both of these as my bets here, but in reality, I'd probably take one or two. Well, fuck it, I'll play both. But I think maybe I like the first half one better. I think it's perfectly reasonable to think Notre Dame shuts Navy out in the first half, and then maybe Navy gets a touchdown or a field goal or two in the second half.
That is entirely possible, but I would never place a bet that would say that Notre Dame is going to shut anybody out in a half.
Okay.
That's fair. All right, moving on. That is the standalone game. We will all be glued to that one, I imagine. And then at 5:30 on Saturday, UTEP is taking on FBS newcomer Jacksonville State.
Yep.
Danny, I think you got a play on this one.
Yeah, so like you said, Jacksonville State, first time in the FBS. They're coming from like the WAC or something. I don't know. They were like in the whatever the WAC version of that other conference was they were this year, but now they're getting Conference USA. So they're coming in, and now they're gonna see if they can hang with the big dogs like UTEP and Middle Tennessee. We know that they can hang with the big dogs like Florida State.
They sure can.
But Middle Tennessee could take out the likes of University of Miami, so it's a big conference upgrade for them. But yeah, I'm gonna have UTEP lay the -1 because I feel like jumping up a conference like this is I just don't think they're going to be able to hang in their very first game. They're just going to show them what Conference USA is all about and beat them by more than a touchdown.
This would be a terrible look for UTEP to lose to Jacksonville State. As a person who suffered a terrible looking loss to Jacksonville State, look, they're coming up in conference. Jacksonville State's good. Actually, they're like
they were 9-2 last year, man. They're good.
Yeah, they're legitimately good, and UTEP wasn't particularly good. They were 3-5 in their own conference last year, right? So this would be an embarrassing game for them to be able to cover. The spread being 1 is really terrible. I like where Danny's at. I would probably lay the 1 point on UTEP to win, basically just to win the game because they have that experience. But this would be a tough look. It'd be a hilarious result for UTEP to lose this game.
Yeah, I think they're going to win handily.
And I want to turn to the newcomer, Jacksonville State. Cheers.
Cheers.
So you mean another mascot?
Wrong, Jacksonville.
JU is the Dolphins.
Gamecocks. They're the Gamecocks, right?
JU is the Dolphins. Yeah, I think they're the Gamecocks. I think that's right. That should know.
So I was looking at the Jacksonville State schedule last year and how well they did, and I was really like wanting to bet them in this game with the line being as close as it is. And then I looked at UTEP's schedule. And I was like, UTEP played obviously with Jacksonville State moving up to FCS, right, or FBS. They're like the disparity in talent level in opponents is drastic. But even for a team like UTEP, they played significantly better teams. And I was like, I really can't be confident in betting Jacksonville State in this one. So I think I agree with you boys. I'm not going to bet it, I don't think, but I think you guys pinned it.
Nice. That takes us into the 7 p.m. window. There are a bunch of games here, so we're going to have to pick which ones we're going to watch. I know my TV will be glued to this one with UMass taking on New Mexico State. Al, you got to play there?
Yeah, so New Mexico State, I'm going to lay the 6.5 with them. The fact that that's under a touchdown feels silly. New Mexico State last year, first year for head coach Jerry Kill. You might remember him from Minnesota days. He ended up, I think, resigning from that position due to health concerns. He's been in and out of football for a couple years since then and has then now taken over the New Mexico State job. And New Mexico State started 1-5 last year. They ended up finishing the regular season in their last 7 games, going 6-1. So I think the arrow is definitely trending up on this team. They beat UMass by 10 last year in late October in Massachusetts. This one's going to be in late August in New Mexico. So I think there's a drastically different setting for this game that's going to help New Mexico State as well. So I'm going to lay the 6.5 and feel good doing it.
I usually love to fade UMass, but like New Mexico State also sucks. And I had this, I had this like right around a little before a touchdown for them to be favored. So it's a little less than a touchdown. It was close. So like whatever.
Yeah. I think the only play there is you have to lay the points with New Mexico State. I'm not taking shit.
I'll probably bet it. I'll probably bet it, but I just didn't put it in for a pick because I hate
under one score.
I love fading UMass.
Yeah.
So I'll probably bet it. I just didn't put it in for a pick.
I would lean that way with you guys as well. Does anybody have any thoughts on the total of this one? I looked long and hard at the under 45.5.
I love it.
Yeah,
I just don't know where the points are going to come from either team. So
yeah, that was kind of my thought. I think UMass will be bad, but their defense could be good enough to keep them in some games, and so I don't know.
Plus, it's first game of the season. Teams are going to have shit to iron out. So
but
sometimes the shit they're ironing out is on defense, though.
It's true.
That's true, and it can also lead to defensive touchdowns if they're ironing out shit on offense.
Yeah.
But to Al's point, I kind of like the first half under at 22.5. I do think that may be a number if you want to play an under. You may lose it right away. That's okay, right? And you just fucking move on with your game.
To the next one.
Yeah, like if a defensive touchdown is what sinks you, like I think I'm okay taking that risk.
Fair. That's fair. All right, the other 7 p.m. game is Ohio taking on San Diego State. I'm the only one with a play here. I am taking Ohio +3. I think it's too many points. It's a field goal. I think these teams are pretty even. I don't expect San Diego State to be very good this year. And taking Ohio with 3.
I'm
Yeah.
with Andy that I don't expect San Diego State to be very good this year, and I expect Ohio to win this game. But the MAC was I got it so wrong early last year that it just kind of flipped me upside down. So I'm just gonna let this one sit for a little while and not bet it early, and like let them play a couple of games, let them play a couple of weeks, and then dive into the MAC head first.
San Diego State had a really good defense last year, right?
They did, and they like to play like Narduzzi ball, where they like to ruin fun. They like to run the ball, play defense. They're like a Big Ten team. They'd be perfect to go to the Big Ten with the rest of the California and Oregon and
with the rest of everyone.
I think their defense is going to take a step back this year. They lost a lot of guys on defense, and I don't expect them to repeat what they did last year.
But to Andy's defense, Ohio was good last year. Legit good. Like 10-4 good last year. They played in the MAC championship. I don't know if they won.
Also was not expected early on, I don't think. If I recall, I wasn't expecting Ohio to win. I think I had I don't remember which team I had early on, but
I could be getting this wrong, but I think they lost, but they had an injury to like their quarterback or something. They lost the MAC championship because of that. I think I could be misremembering.
You know, Danny mentioning Ohio being good last year reminded me of our bad team draft we did last week, and fittingly, I think I took Syracuse for the ACC, right? And then like 2 days later, I read something about how expect big things from Syracuse this year, and they'll finish with a winning record. And I was like, fuck.
Dude, I have Auburn, and everything I read right now is like Auburn's going to win 12 games.
Yeah.
Auburn's a national championship contender. Expect them to knock off Georgia.
Speaking of bad team drafts, our next game is 7:30 p.m. and it is Hawaii taking on Vanderbilt. I think the combined win total there might be 6, something like that. These are 2 not very good teams. We all have picks on this, but Al's an asshole, so we don't have a hurricane here.
Al must not know something that happened. Al must not know this thing that happened. So I'm going to tell him right now. Mike Wright plays for Mississippi State now.
I don't know who Mike Wright is.
He was Vandy's quarterback that was awesome last year.
Oh, then yeah, that's probably going to impact things, huh?
Yeah, a little bit.
I also think Hawaii gets a bad rap when they have to travel to the States because it's such a long travel, but being the first game of the season, they should be able to get out there a little bit earlier, acclimate a little bit more. They're not already going to be exhausted.
So
I think that helps
reasonable.
too.
I'm going to leave it since I already put it on the books, but let me tell you why. So Hawaii won 3 games last year. Do you know where those 3 games took place?
I'm going to guess in Hawaii.
Tennessee?
Yeah, Honolulu. So that's a lot further away from Vanderbilt than they're used to playing. So my other factors were all about how Vandy was good last year, sneaky good 5-7 with a quarterback who is so good he doesn't even play there anymore. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Hawaii sucks. I feel bad about this now. I feel really bad about it.
I am on Vanderbilt's season win total over 3.5.
There you go. Well, then, so Andy basically is in agreement with me.
But I mean, Vandy can still win and not cover the 17.5. 17.5 is a lot of points for 2 bad teams.
Yeah, I didn't want to lay 20.5 with Notre Dame over Navy, but I guess I'm comfortable doing 18 with Vandy over Hawaii.
I honestly wasn't going to bet this game until I started looking into the rosters, and I was like, wait, their quarterback's not there anymore? Wait, he's at Mississippi State now?
I will say last year, I think I followed Andy's advice in that however many points Hawaii was the dog were too many points, and it turns out it weren't too many points.
We all lost that one, I think, last year on the. We were all like planning to chase opening week. It was great. We were all like happy to be chasing midnight Hawaii football in the first week, and like.
So this will be the game that makes me say, "Ooh, I'm gonna bet Hawaii. It'll be a sneaky good play all season and lose a bunch of money doing so."
All right, so that's Matt, Danny, and myself all on Hawaii plus the points, and Al regretting laying with a quarterbackless Vandy. Moving on to the 8 p.m. game, San Jose State is taking on Juggernaut, I believe top 10 team in the country,
Yep.
top 5, USC.
Yep.
And Danny's got to play here.
Yeah, so I'm actually going to take the points. It's 30.5 or 31. Either one doesn't really matter to me. I'm going to take it. San Jose brings their quarterback, Chevron Cordero or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was pretty good last year. He took care of the ball. It's like his 1,000th year in college football because of like the COVID rules and transfer rules and injury rules and red shirt rules. So I don't know. He's like 29 or 30 or something, and he really knows how to play. Last year it didn't really help him that it was his 99th year in college football because he only put up 3 points against USC, but he still would have covered the 31 because USC only put up 30 against them. So I really just I think that the 31 is too much. So I'm gonna take the points.
Yeah, I almost told you on that. I like San Jose State has a good defense that I think a lot of people sleep on, but USC's a wagon.
USC also has a very bad defense. They did last year. They were one of the worst performing defenses in the Power 5 as far as stopping the explosive play.
Mm-hmm.
And having the experienced quarterback there may be a benefit. I don't know if you remember last year, San Jose State went to the Farm and played Auburn and made it an 8-point game at Auburn. Now, granted, that was an Auburn team where Brian Harsin was the head coach and ended up getting fired. They have Hugh Freeze now. I'm sure the results would be different, but they can play anywhere. If you have to make a play, you have to take the points. I'm not.
Everybody gets fired at Auburn, man.
It does. That's true. I do think there may be an interesting play to look at the under here as well.
Yeah. What's the total at?
60.
It's going to be a big number.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, I like that under. I mean, there's a good chance that they both stink in week 1.
Yeah.
I'm certainly not going to doubt USC's skill position players or their offensive linemen again.
Or Lincoln Riley. Don't doubt Lincoln Riley. He's really good at his job.
Yeah,
One of those things will be doubted.
That's the only reason I'm not on this with Danny is that last year at this time, week 0, Matt and I both told you that we thought USC wasn't going to be very good last year, and we looked like idiots. So I am not going to take it because of that. I'm not betting against USC, but if I had to bet, what my numbers told me was to take San Jose on the points.
Yeah, that total feels like a touchdown too high.
It does. It feels really high. It feels really high because I think USC will be pulling everyone out at the end of the game. I think at the end of the third quarter, you're not going to have Caleb Williams. They'll all be sitting, or maybe even the first half. Even with what Danny's saying about Cordero, I think that they can get back in it, but I think USC will probably take their foot off the gas. And
yeah, I mean, USC could also hang.
I mean, last year USC was really good, right? But San Jose State wasn't that bad. I mean, it was they're probably like a two touchdown difference team last year, maybe 3 touchdown difference team, but not a 4.5 touchdown different team is my point. So
yeah, I mean, USC could also hang 50 in the first half and make all of us look silly, but
I don't think so.
But you know what? No one will be able to watch it. I love this. My favorite part of this whole week.
I actually I have the shell package. So
the gas station package?
The little TV shell. So I'll be able to.
You put in your.
I wave the little wand. I wave a little wand in front of the
I cannot wait for some people who don't watch college football until college football season comes around or don't care. Right? They're going to see 2 ranked teams. They're going to see Notre Dame. They're going to see USC. They're going to want to watch those 2 games. Notre Dame, it's on NBC. No problem. But you're going to be like, oh, it's 8:00. Let's throw on ESPN. USC has to be there. And instead, you get treated to New Mexico State, UMass. And USC is not to be found.
Why I know I'm going to lay that New Mexico points.
There's going to be like 47 places in the United States where you can watch that USC game, and that's it. Not at your home. You have to go do like your local. I think it's only carried at BP gas stations, not Shell. Unfortunately, I think they changed it.
You need your BP Speed Pass. You got to like wait.
Yeah, don't forget your loyalty
card. You have to get a car wash
in
order to watch the game. That's like step 1 in order to get it.
You know, like the secret, if you press the top right button, it like mutes the ads. But if you actually press the top left button, you get the Pac-12 network.
Nice. And then our nightcap to finish off the weekend, the first beautiful, glorious weekend of college football, 9 p.m. Florida International is taking on Louisiana Tech. Matt, I think you got to play for us here.
Oh, this is a doozy of a game. If you love bad football, both teams were very bad last year. FIU is still on the path to be very bad. Louisiana Tech, not much better. They did get a transfer quarterback, Hank Bachmeier from Boise State. He was pretty good at his time at Boise State. Either way,
He's at Louisiana
Mhm.
Tech now, you said? Oh,
both
okay.
offenses rank in the bottom for explosive plays, in the bottom of success rate, which is the ability to create plays that get you further first downs. And they both ranked at the bottom within the opposing 40-yard line. With all of that said, I don't see many points being scored. I think this is an easy under. I think it's probably closer to a 51 or a 52. So at 58.5, I'm going to lay the under. I'm going to take the under.
And on that note, I'm not actually taking this, but if I had a strong lean on FIU plus 11, but like FIU's like one of my bad teams I took because they're not going to win 2 games. But I mean, they could easily lose this by 2 touchdowns, so it's still get the under.
They're both bad teams.
Yeah.
That's what I'm banking on. That they were both very inept at offense. But Bachmeier will change the math there. They should.
Yeah. So I know we haven't seen any college football yet this year, so I'm totally pulling this out of my ass. But I'm getting vibes of this under looking immaculate at halftime and then shenanigans happening in the second half that either like sinks it or like makes you sweat it late, like, you know, kick return touchdowns and pick sixes and stupid shit, and then you're like, all I needed was for like a 28-point fourth quarter would have been fine and I'd be clear, but like they put 28 on the board in like the first 5 minutes of the quarter, and you're like,
And you're sweating it out. You keep hitting it again and again. You're like, all
You know
right,
what?
I'll take the new number.
and it might still hit, even though like they haven't, you know, they go on a 10-minute scoreless drought after scoring 28 points in 5 minutes.
I'm so excited that football's back. I'm just happy for the sweat. Like I could go 0-3 this week, and like I won't even care. I mean, I'll care a little.
That's a good thing too. Yeah, like it's a really like underrated thing that, you know, we're talking about 4 bets here, right? 3 bets, 4 bets per person. Like even if we got skunked, like it's not killing anybody. You know, it's not like a normal week where you got 20 bets going and a terrible week really like fucks up your bankroll.
You're not putting your whole bankroll on each one of these, Al, and then like hoping that Notre Dame finishes in time
probably.
to get a bet down on.
You know, yeah, I'm going 10 to 10,000. That's
Hell
what I'm
yeah.
going for.
Nice. All right, everyone. Well, thanks for tuning in. Those are our picks for week 0. Make sure to like, subscribe, follow us. We've been putting out a ton of TikTok content, Instagram, Twitter. We're on all those, so follow us there as well. Tell a friend, and we'll be putting out another pod later this week. So keep an eye out for that.
Cheers.
Yeah, props to Andy. Good content
Matt
on
too.
TikTok, but
Matt's been putting out some good ones too.
yeah.
Good night,
cheers.
Steven.
Good night, Joey.